Let's get it. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Keep It 100 podcast. I am your host, D Matt, and we have a very interesting topic today. So, let's talk about forgiveness, right? How do you begin the healing process once a man has cheated?
Or female.
Or female, man or woman, we have to have a level of forgiveness if we're going to continue in it. So, what's the process like?
I think we should start from a man's standpoint. Trust is a real big issue in this situation. Rather who cheated first or who did what first, a man should be willing to do what needs to be done to bring trust back into the situation. Or if the female cheated first, then she needs to do what needs to be done to bring trust back into the situation, because I believe that's what is important. You walk out of a relationship or whatever the case may be, then ultimately I don't trust you. So now I'm going to get to a point where I'm questioning your every move. I'm questioning your motive, your intentions, whatever the case may be. I can't trust you. So, trust gotta be
Earn.
um evident in the situation.
So basically, you got to earn back the trust once you've messed up, right? So
Yeah.
in earning back the trust, right? What type of things you feel should be taking place, or let me first say that as a man, if I screw up, right? Yeah, well, I want to salvage the
Mm-hmm.
relationship, and I want to stay in this for
Right.
the long haul. So I'm gonna try and make sure that I can regain your trust by proving
Mm-hmm.
myself to be trustworthy again, letting you know, what really is going on and be consistent with it. Like
Yeah. Consistency really
being
would be a
being
key
where
in that.
you say you're gonna be, you know,
Yep.
living up to your word, keeping your word. Whenever you say you're gonna do something, you follow through and you actually do it. Um, Cutting off any
Mm-hmm.
previous distractions that may have led to the infidelities and all that stuff.
Right.
Um, I think it's a combination of a lot of different things. When you're talking about, it is something that I feel like it's very important to have trust in a relationship. I don't think you can really have a true, genuine relationship without having that trust. Because if I can't trust you, then it's like, oh, I'm going to be paranoid. And I think the same thing goes with
Right.
a woman. You don't want to be constantly
Mm-hmm.
wondering what somebody's doing, where they're at, if they're where they are, they said they were
Right.
going to
Right.
be. Um, if you're still entertaining um, other women, or if you're still, you know, doing anything other than having the focus on the relationship that you're in,
Mm-hmm.
all a combination of all those things um, have to be fixed in order to proceed. But my thing is, once you begin to heal and regain trust and all that stuff, all right, the woman cannot continue to bring up the past mistakes because it's like
Mm-hmm.
we're trying to go forward right now. Every time you get mad with me or I do anything that you don't like, you throw it in my face that, oh, you did this and this and this and this. It
Yeah.
cannot be like that because if that keeps happening, me personally, I would get to the point like, man, forget this. You know what I mean? You're going to keep bringing up the past. We're trying to
Mm-hmm.
move forward. Obviously, you don't want to move forward because you're still talking about the past. You know what I mean? You
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
cannot move forward in that way. You can't keep
Right.
bringing it up. If you're gonna move forward, you gotta say, you know what? I'm just gonna stop that whole conversation. We talked about it. we're trying to heal from it. There's no further need to bring this up again.
Hmm. I think a lot of what causes the bring up, it, or if I keep continuing, or whatever the situation may be. If the situation is a continual thing that is being brought, somebody is not over what has happened. So when you said a little while back of what can be done to get to the point where we can trust or we can move on from the situation, I believe, whoever broke that trust, they have to basically start this relationship all over. You know what I mean? I get that you would apologize. I understand that, whatever the conversation may have been, it has to be, if we're going to move forward and forgive, it has to be a place where, the other one actually feels like, this is not going to happen again. I trust you. I understand what you're saying to me. You know what I mean? But the you will bring up means that this hurt still there, or I haven't let that go. I want to be with you, but in the end part, I'm still hurt. You kind of like, it's almost like, you betrayed me in a sense of the relationship. You betrayed the relationship. You betrayed me, whatever that may be. But I understand what you're saying when you say you can't bring that up, and it's true because continually bringing it up really kind of will tell a man, like, I don't want to let go. I don't want to deal with somebody that, won't move on from a mess up or always just throwing in my face, the mistakes. But what if the situation was on a female side where, the female did the cheating and the man won't let her go? Because it is true, when men, their butt hurt when a woman cheats on them. So what if a man won't let that go and you're continually replaying stuff in your mind? What does a man do now?
Right, right, right. I think you just have to have a clear understanding after you initially apologize, whether it's the man or the woman. Once you guys both
Mm-hmm.
apologize, you agree to fix things, you agree to stay together, um, and move forward, then the healing process starts immediately after that. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you can't after that. It's really no need to keep dwelling on it. You need to get everything out at that
But
point.
is it that easy to move, to start moving?
Of course, I don't believe it's easy at all, but it's not easy constantly hearing your past mistakes over and over. Nobody wants to constantly be reminded of a mistake. We're all human. We all make mistakes.
Right.
At the end of the day, nobody is perfect. Nobody. So, I mean, you want to hear the positive things that in the right situation. If a guy is doing what he says he was gonna do as far as trying to regain your trust and build the relationship back up to a really good place, then
Mm-hmm.
you have to give that encouragement, you have to give that acknowledgement, and let him know that you see the progress, you see the effort that he's trying to make
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to better the situation, to move forward with the situation, and reminding
Mm-hmm.
him of the initial mistake is not going to help in that process.
Right. Right. I understand. So let's talk about, like, what can a man or a woman do to assure the partner that this ain't gonna happen no more. So I think boundaries,
Well,
boundaries.
there has to be clear cut boundaries. If you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
move forward, you're gonna stay in this. You want to rectify the situation. You got to have clear cut boundaries. Now, do I believe
Right.
that these boundaries may include you constantly checking his phone, or you going through his pockets, or you
But
follow him to see if he's at work?
what if that's
No,
what it takes?
no,
Someone
no, no,
to,
no, 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 no. I don't think that is the answer at all. Because I feel like if you have to do that, you need to just let it go. Because I understand that the trust was
I mean,
broken.
but what if that's really what it takes though?
I understand
What
that
if,
it shouldn't take all that. You know what I mean? I don't
but
think it
maybe
should take all
maybe at the
that.
beginning. maybe let me see where you are. You say you're gonna be okay. Let's play a scenario for it, right? So let's say I caught you cheating. Let's say you meet a girl at the park every now and then, or whatever. Say you going to the park this time, but in the last time that I allowed you to go to the park, and I ain't question your motives of why you were going to the park or your intentions of was somebody really at the park or is he really going to the park just to chill, run, exercise, whatever. What
Mm.
if that's what it took for me to really believe or really understand he's really just going to the park right now? So sometimes that's really what it takes for somebody to actually, believe your word and your actions. Your actions the last time proved, nah, that ain't what happened at the park.
You
I
don't
ain't got to take your
necessarily
phone all the
know
time.
that having to provide constant evidence of where you are is a good recipe for a healing process. And I don't think the word
But is it
allow
not necessary
should
a
be
little
a
bit?
part of the conversation because it feels like, now you're a dictator. It should never be a dictatorship in a relationship. I would never use the word, oh, I'm going to allow you to do this, because as a man, men are very proud. I think most men are very proud in the sense. And, whether you mess up or not, a man has certain elements that he's going to be able to deal with. And there also has to be, we talk about trust and regaining trust and all that stuff, rebuilding the
Mm-hmm.
love in the relationship. But one of the most important things for me in a relationship has to be respect. And not
Right.
only in a relationship, but also in life in general. Respect is so important to me. I understand that if you cheat on someone, you may lose some respect for that person. But along with the trust part, I think you have to rebuild the respect part also, because
Mm-hmm.
you have to have a good level of respect for someone that you're with. You have to have a level of respect for any individual, just in general, in life in general. So I think trust, rebuilding the trust, rebuilding the respect, getting back to the happiness and love in the relationship, all those things play a very key part in the healing process. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
think that all of those things you have to constantly work on to get back to where you want to be. Yeah, do I think that I think if you felt like you needed to be um you needed to take things to the point of following up with him and seeing if he's actually where he is. Maybe that's a situation where he should like think about that part of it and not be so outgoing and during that process and try to be home
Mm-hmm.
more and
Mm-hmm.
be engaged with the family more and things like that. So
Right.
you
Right.
know he's at work, I'm at work, I will get off work, I come home, I'm with you. So
Right. Right.
maybe that's the best route to take initially, especially initially when you're in the process of healing after cheating.
And rebuilding. Right. Yep.
But we're just looking at this from a man's standpoint. Yeah, let's talk about when the women cheat and how a man forgives the woman if she cheats. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's a very different type of thing because, like I said previously in the previous video, I think men forgiving a woman for cheating is a lot more. It's a much more difficult process, um, mentally
Look,
for
we can't be biased. It got to be on the
men.
same standpoint. No double
No, no,
standard.
I'm not being biased or anything like that. All I'm saying is when a woman gives away that that sacred thing to another man, a man now has to forgive her for that. And in the back of his mind, he's probably still thinking about, man, you know, some other guy was doing this with my woman or kissing my
A
woman.
female also thinks that. I think a lot of times men, they're hurt by it. They don't want nobody else to touch their woman. But again, women don't want nobody to touch their man either. A woman don't want nobody to kiss nobody that know what their man look like, or to be able to say, I had him and look how stupid you look, you back with him. Don't nobody want that either. So it's not it's not different. It's, I believe it's the same. If a female cheats and she has allowed herself to become emotionally attached to someone else, because ultimately a woman is going to cheat because she's emotionally not in this with someone else. um a
Yeah,
man has got to see it just the same way if he was to do it to a female.
I think you see it the same way. I just think the dealing with it process is a little bit different from a man and a woman's perspective. But you're absolutely right. I don't believe that um, women would want another woman looking at their man, touching their man, feeling on their man, kissing their man, all of the above. I'm pretty sure
But look,
that
you
holds
gotta
true.
also think of it like this, right? Females are petty. And so if a man cheat
Yeah.
with another female, you're bound to deal with the petty I cheated with your man or whatever. Women are, I had him type of thing. Look at her, you know what I'm saying? It ain't too many women that's gonna be quiet. I was with her man last night or whatever. So you also have to think of that too, because I'm gonna take you back, I'm gonna forgive you, but I still also gotta deal with somebody being petty and somebody bringing up that she done been with me. And it depends on whatever type of female you done messed with too at the end of the day. Because let's say you done messed with some little hood rat or whatever the case may be, and this female ain't gonna let that go. It could have been 3 years and she still gonna, bring up the fact that she was with you. Don't, we done forgave you, so a female gonna have to deal with that too. Men ain't necessarily like that. Men ain't gonna pick, you know what I mean? Men ain't like that. So a man that done been with your girl or whatever, it's just that. I've been with your girl, they may bring it up at the basketball court or something like, nigga, that's why I fucked your girl or whatever. But
You think
and
that's
you
gonna
mad
lead to
about
a
that.
fight, brother?
But at the end of the
You
day,
gotta you gotta throw them hands, bro. You don't want to start none of that stuff,
right.
man. You can't be saying none of that stuff
But a
like
man ain't gonna pick like a female. A man ain't gonna bring that to social media like how females do. Men don't
social
screenshot
media.
and
Nah, that's
keep
some girl stuff
information
right
like that. Exactly.
there.
So if a woman is gonna cheat or a man is gonna cheat, I have to deal with that too. A female bringing it to social media, a female got screenshots, depending on how deep the situation had got. You could have probably sent pictures, you could have done a bunch of stuff, and now a female got to deal with that. Somebody being petty and picking, and just doing things just to be spiteful when you're really trying to move on. So when you say it's different, for it really ain't, because a female got to deal with the back end of it too. Men are gonna be hushed about it. A woman that cheated with your nigga, she gonna make you feel that, like, you know what I mean? So I guess we can say, don't get nobody nothing to talk about your female about, because you went out there and you did something stupid, and a female gonna say what they want to say. They gonna make up
Now
stuff.
things are getting a
They
bit
gonna
personal.
lie stuff. But how's it
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm
personal?
talking about because I don't think that those type of things that you just spoke about can definitely um disrupt the healing process, we spoke about
Exactly.
not bringing
Exactly.
that stuff back up, but I didn't realize, like, on the outside, what if the person you were with is constantly poking the bear and bringing up the old stuff, and then that's something
Right.
entirely
Right.
different that you have to deal with now. Maybe in a situation
Right.
like that, it might be best to find a way, like you sit down with your woman or your man, and you find a way to remove all the distractions from the situation. That
Mm-hmm.
might entail you moving. I wouldn't necessarily say moving out of the state, but maybe to a different area or something like that, where you're not being constantly reminded of
So now I gotta move my life because
situations.
no female or no,
No,
I gotta move.
I'm not saying that that would be the answer. I'm saying maybe that's something that should be considered, just to be able to let go. Like if you went through a situation that was really bad in a certain area and you moved to another area and just started fresh, you know what I mean? You wouldn't, I don't think you would have to totally uproot your life. It depends on how far you're talking about moving. But I
Mm-hmm.
just feel like maybe that's something to consider being, with all things, um, all factors considered, that's something that you might want to think about. Like, I
Right.
don't want to constantly see this person over and over. I don't want you to constantly be
Mm-hmm.
seeing this person over and over and bringing up the past and poking at you and picking at you and all this type of stuff. Um,
Yeah.
maybe we should just the whole social media thing. Well, that's more of a woman
Yeah.
thing, but
Right. Right.
it's just yeah. You don't want to keep that type of stuff lingering around. You know what I mean? Because it's not going to help the process at the end of the
Mm-hmm.
day when you have that going on.
Right.
But all things considered,
It's not easy to try to move on though.
I,
It's
of
not
course
easy.
not. Of course not. I don't think that it's easy by any stretch. But
Yeah.
after the healing process, after the man has started to regain your trust, regain your love, regain your respect,
Mm-hmm.
showing you that he's trustworthy. He goes home. He goes to work. He comes home. He's with you every day. Consistently. You guys are going out on dates. You're doing everything that it would take to rebuild, and then these outside distractions come back
Mm-hmm.
into the picture. I think that's just a detriment to the
Yep. Yep.
situation. So it's like, man, what do you do to? I've done all the other things I need to do to get my relationship back on track. So how do I eliminate these other outside distractions to
Mm-hmm.
completely move forward? I think that's
Right.
something
Right.
that, I guess that would just have to be a conversation that you have to sit down and say, maybe this and this and this is what's best for us to really get back to where we need to be because,
Mm-hmm. I
I
think
can't,
it's maturity that's gonna come into play.
of course. I
Mature, you
mean,
know what I'm saying? And if you have staged everything, you come home on time, you do, you do what you say you're gonna do. You spend time with your family. You're here, and everybody's perfect. So that's why we forgive. But if you've done everything, and you have these outsiders that are still against your relationship, then there's no need for the continual doubt in the relationship of what if, or you know what I'm saying, because you proved yourself. So it is not necessarily you in this point, it is the outsiders. And I think a lot of maturity is going to have to come into play where either the female is going to exclude this person, or just look at it in a situation where this is a crazy you met a crazy girl, but I still love you and I'm gonna trust you through it, and y'all move on together. But a level of maturity is gonna have to be there. Now you can't be with nobody that's gonna just listen to the outside people at all times, because outsiders ain't in your house with you. So if you're gonna listen to them outsiders, you might as well stay outside with them outsiders,
right,
because I'm doing what I gotta do to love you again, trust you again, and outsiders shouldn't mean nothing if you're trying to heal.
right. I couldn't say it better myself. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna do it for this episode of Relationship Talk with your boy D Mac. We'll catch you next time.
Blame it on